In our last video, we broke down the basics of wood identification. So today we're going to show you how to identify wood species using one simple tool, a 10x jeweler's loupe. And if we do this right, you'll be spotting species like a pro. All right, so first things first, I know not everybody owns a jeweler's loupe, but they don't have one on hand. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. But there really is an important step right away. Make sure the wood that you're looking at is actually wood, Phil. I know it seems obvious, but you'd be surprised how many fiberboard fakes are out there. Next, before you make a single cut, I want you to do something that most people skip. Form a hypothesis. Look at the board, check the color, feel the grain, make your best guess. Is it oak? Is it maple? What do you think it is? Pull out your phone and open up the Google Lens. It's that little button right there. Bada bing. Then you can take a picture of the wood, let it scan the grain pattern and color. It'll suggest to you what species it thinks you're looking at. Now, I'm not saying that the Google Lens is always right, but write down what it tells you. This is your hypothesis, your starting point. Trust me, this is gonna pay off big time when you get to the confirmation step later on in the video. So don't skip the step. In case you didn't already know, this is a test that the pros use to determine the species of wood. They do this by looking at the end grain of a sample piece of wood. So grab your miter saw or your circle saw and make a fresh, clean cut on the end grain. The end grain is like the wood's fingerprint. And if it's still a little rough, hit it with some sandpaper to really clean it up. And in just a minute, I'm gonna show you the one thing that most people ignore that completely ruins the process. But first, you're gonna need some way to magnify the end grain here. So I'll put a QR code right here so you can buy the exact same loupe that we're gonna be using here today. And I'll also have the link in the description below in case you're watching this on your phone right now. I know we all don't have jeweler's loupes lying around everywhere, so you could possibly use anything that'll magnify the end grain for you. For example, you could try using your phone's camera first. Some phones have a very good macro lens, so you could take a high resolution picture and then you can pinch to zoom in on the end grain. Or you can use a magnifying glass, or there's that old hunter's trick where you use a pair of binoculars. Flip the binoculars around and put your eye up to the wrong end. If you get in real close, this might actually work. But just know that if you don't have a jeweler's loupe at the moment, this video is still packed with a bunch of value that I know that you're gonna find useful. And by the way, we do earn a small commission on anything that you buy using one of our links. It's just a simple way you guys can help us out at no extra cost to you. All right. Here we go. Hold that jeweler's loupe right up to your eye. Right up against it like a pirate with a spyglass. Same thing with binoculars or anything else that you're gonna be using, except for maybe the magnifying glass. You can, that you kind of have to hold a little bit far apart. But what you're about to see is the DNA of the tree, the fingerprint. Today we're gonna look at 6 different species of wood, softwood and hardwood. I'll show you examples and then you can take it from there. So the first thing that we look at is the growth rings. Do you see big visible pores lined up in a row? That's ring-porous wood. Let's start off with white oak. See those massive pores arranged in perfect lines at the growth ring boundary? Now look closer at those pores. See how they're plugged up? Those are tyloses. That's what makes white oak watertight and perfect for whiskey barrels and trailer decking. Now check out this wood. It's pretty obvious what this is, black walnut. By the way, if you live here close to us in Minnesota, we have 20 plus species of kiln-dried finished grade lumber here in stock here at K&J Lumber. Come on down, stop by and visit us. This black walnut is also ring porous, but the pores are smaller and there's no tyloses. The transition from early wood to late wood is more gradual. Now let's take a peek at some diffuse porous woods. Here we got hard maple. The pores are tiny and spread out everywhere like freckles. They're so small and so evenly distributed, you almost need the loupe just to see them. This, my friends, is why maple is so dense and hard. Now, check the pores themselves. Are they big enough to count? Look for patterns. Do the pores group together in little clusters? Those, my friend, are called pore multiples. Now take a look at this black locust. You see how the pores form these patterns? These are called dendritic patterns. They branch out looking like tiny trees, arranged in those wavy tangential bands. Sorry, I don't want to use too big of words. That is a signature move for locust. Big shout out to blacklocustlumber.com. Scan the QR code to get some black locust lumber near you. I'll also include a link in the description just to help them out. They helped me out with some wood, so I can help them out. You see how all of those pores looked blocked too? That, my friends, is also tyloses. There's way more pore blockage than white oak. Those tyloses are what makes black locust and white oak so resistant to rot. See those lines running across the grain like spokes in a bicycle wheel? They go from the center of the tree out to the bark. Those, my friends, are medullary rays. In white oak, they're huge and obvious. Some are so big you don't even need a loupe to see it. But in hard maple, they're there, but they're super fine and subtle. And if you're lucky, you might spot wavy bands in the grain. We call those ulmiform lines. They look like little ripples frozen in time. Check out this elm. You see those wavy lines? Those look like little waves running through the pores. If you see those, you know you're looking at elm or hackberry. Now let's flip over to softwood. Douglas fir. No pores at all. Instead, you see these tiny little cells called tracheids. Look at the transition from the early wood to the late wood. It's sharp and dramatic. That dark band of late wood is very dense. And if you look really close, you might see those tiny little black dots. Those are resin canals. Each one of these clues is a breadcrumb, and you're following them home. Now you got your evidence, but we're not done yet. Like we mentioned in the last video, there's some dead giveaways that will help you identify wood species. If you remember, black locust will glow neon green under a black light. You see that? That's pretty cool. Most other species don't do that. You can smell the wood. Seriously. Douglas fir, it smells like a pure Christmas tree. Black walnut smells earthy and a little sweet. If you think you're looking at oak and it's face on, check the side grain here. You'll be able to see little tiny medullary rays or ray flecks on the side, just like that. That only happens in red and white oak. And now it's time to confirm your hypothesis. You can head over to sites like wood-database.com, and the USDA even has a handbook that really helps. It's called the Wood Handbook, Wood as an Engineering Material. This wood is free to the public and packed full of information. Compare what you see under your loupe to the photos that you see on those websites and line them up side by side. You can match the pictures and find your wood. Do the pores match? The rays? The ring structure? Those big rays and tyloses should match up almost perfectly. And if you do that, you'll be ahead of 99% of the guessing game players on Facebook. I'll link these sites in the description below so that you can easily find them. Oh, and if you're finding this useful, be sure to share this with somebody else that you think would find this useful as well. And hit that subscribe button because we got a lot more wood knowledge heading your way and you don't want to miss it. So let's do a quick recap here. All right, step 1. Form an hypothesis. What type of wood do you think it is? Use the Google Lens on your phone and do an image search if you have to. Then make a clean cut on the end of your mystery board. Step 2, grab your jeweler's loupe and take a peek at the end grain. Step 3, using one of the sites that are linked in the description, match it with the species that you think it might be. Step 4, narrow down the possibilities and pick a winner. You're not a wood expert, but you're the next best thing. No more guessing, no more voting for species on Facebook, just confidence. But here's the thing, you're still missing the foundation of this whole entire system. Why do we even look at the end grain in the first place? What makes it so special compared to the face or the edge? The answer is in the video that I made before this one, and it's honestly the secret that makes everything else make sense. If you skipped it, you're only seeing half the picture. I'm gonna walk you through the DNA of the wood and why end grain is where all the magic happens in this video right here. See you there, brother. And sister.
Why? Why would I know you?
You kind of annoy me sometimes.
Nothing annoying about me.
Just a little bit. Sometimes.
I'm the best boss that you've ever had.
I don't know, ever? Ever? I'll think about it. I'll let you know.